6-0. I think he had 3 shutouts when we went back to Grand Rapids, so they brought him back. He just continues to play great. Mrazek let 2 or 3 goals and maybe one half back late in the game down the stretch. Other than that, he's been very solid. And Jimmy Howard just couldn't find his game. I mean, he had a good third period against Carolina, and that was really his only good one. Went into Montreal, started out well, but obviously didn't end well. And in their team's estimation, 2 or 3 goals that he probably should have had. And that really sealed the deal, I think, for Mike Babcock after that game in Montreal. And then Peter Mrazek played in Carolina and really looked solid. Forget about the shutout. You know, they beat a Carolina team that was way out of the playoffs. But just the way he looked, he's really athletic, but now he's finding his game as he's getting less aggressive. He's knowing when to be patient and when to use athleticism. And he did that exact thing last night in Tampa Bay.
So, Chris, when you look at his book, what are his strengths as he sits in the net?
Well, his ability to replace is far and one of the best for his
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can't watch Hawks at noon on the TV side, thank God for damages to you guys a while back. I was searching on my iPad for the radio player of Sports by Night Fan, and now that we'll listen to it anytime. This is Hawks at noon, Friday, in studio.
He's got a ton of upside.
In studio, Brian Fay, John Chad, Billy Jeff.
If anything,
talking to former Troy Bruins player
I wasn't worried about him being
Chris
nervous last night. He's got a ton of mojo, more so than just being too excited and overplaying plays. And the minute I saw him play in the first 5 minutes, I knew he'd be finding his location. He was making today's look easy, and then you know he's on his game, and he's so good with the pocket. I mean, they went into the series, and Bishop's the other goalie, obviously. Well, he's only played 1 pro game ever, and that was in Peoria when he was back with St. Louis. Peter Mrazek played 34 pro games, and he won pro playoff games, and he won the AHL championship as a 20-year-old, as a goalie. That's unheard of. So, I mean, this kid's got something about him. I mean, he played great in the World Juniors when it was in Calgary and Edmonton. And
oh, did we lose Chris? We get cut off there. He mentioned that the Calder Cup, 17 players in this series played in that 2013 Calder Cup final. It's unreal.
And that's what Detroit does.
Both teams should be given a little bit of accolades for using their farm system.
Steve Yzerman from Detroit learned that way. They don't waver from that. Obviously, Yzerman learned that there, and having John Cooper, obviously having coached all these guys that are coming up, helps for the last few years too. But Grand Rapids has done such a wonderful job with all the Red Wings recruits or players that they have. And I was going to ask Chris, and hopefully when
he's back. He's back right now. Go ahead.
You're back on, Chris?
yeah, I'm back.
There you go.
They weren't that tough on me.
How much does Mrazek give this team kind of that energy, that kind of that youthful shot in there, kind of like some of these other young kids that they brought up to, and was it needed, Chris?
Yeah, I think it was needed for this team. I mean, obviously age was becoming a factor. They needed to inject some youth into this lineup. And that's one of the reasons I was a little surprised they went with Mrazek at the start. I mean, Howard does have some pedigree in the playoffs. He played 40-some games. He played well against Anaheim, Chicago the year when they lost Chicago in 7 games. So I thought, if you go with Howard at the start, give him his opportunity, maybe 1 or 2 games, see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, you can always come back to Mrazek and inject some energy and some enthusiasm and really bring a lot of swagger, and you can possibly come back. Kind of the opposite way that I thought Mike Babcock was going to go, but he decided to go this way. Obviously, it turns out it's the right decision right now.
You know, Mrazek's 44 save performance overshadowed another night of Pavel Datsyuk hockey. And he was, we should never be surprised how this guy plays.
Not anymore.
On that line with Zetterberg and Helm for most of the night. Does it ever surprise you? You see him more than we do?
No, he does each and every night. He's top 5 scoring percenters in the National Hockey League. And he led the league in steals again. And each and every night, this guy is their best forward by far and away. And more so now than ever, when he's not in the lineup, the Red Wings look way different. And without him, really, he's been in, other than the game he did play in Carolina, he's been in 90% of the goals over the last part of the season, and obviously last game as well. But, I mean, he's amazing. He makes everybody better. Henrik Zetterberg was struggling, although he does still contribute a lot, even when he's not scoring. But all of a sudden, put Pavel Datsyuk with him, his game has picked up as well. So Pavel Datsyuk isn't only a great player, he makes everybody around him a heck of a lot better. And there's barely any players you can say that about in the National Hockey League right now. And he's one of those special players that he's got one more year left on his deal, and I'm sure Ken Hall is hoping and praying that he doesn't go back to Wrexham. Would like him to stay as long as he can have him here.
Chris, last year in Game 1 against the Boston Bruins, Pavel Datsyuk scored another sick goal. I mean, he brought the puck from the middle of he threw his legs, through the neutral zone and scored a goal. And that was the only goal of the game. The Bruins went on to win the series, though, in 5. Does this feel different than last year, winning on the road in a series against a higher-ranked opponent? And if so, why?
It feels different because I think this team is, they got outshot. You could say outplayed, there's no doubt about that. But they didn't play very well. I've seen them play a lot better, obviously, and they're going to moving forward. I think Mike Babcock's going to really harp on that in the next couple of days. And I expect them to play very well in Game 2, a heck of a lot better. Obviously, they're not going to get outshot by that wide of a margin. Moving forward, from last year, I think they do have a better opportunity. One, Canada's experience in the playoffs. They haven't won a playoff game. Their goalie, yes, he had a great regular season, but he has 0 playoff experience. And really looked uncomfortable last game. And to me, moving forward, the Red Wings can really get on him early and test him. And once again, he might not last Game 2. So, really, I think it's a different opponent. Boston is playoff battle tested. He knew how to